Hello, everyone. Brett the Comic Novice here. And if you're like me, you've been really enjoying DC Comics' Absolute Universe, their new take on on this classic superheroes and the villains associated with them. Additionally, just like a breath of fresh air, we have had little to no crossover events for spring and summer of 2025. Fast forward to the October 2025 solicits, and we get the announcement of DCKO. Now, additionally, I was completely out on this event altogether. However, because of rereading the solicits, because of listening to some other podcasters and YouTubers, I think I'm a tad bit more open to this idea of this DCKO event, especially if it's mostly fun, but does have some lasting effects with the greater DC universe. Because, I like continuity. I also like fun stories. But if you're going to make it a pointless one, much like Night Terrors, almost like much like Beast World, and especially like Gotham War, I think it's really a hard pass. So, with that, I'm going to be looking at the November 2025 solicits for DC Comics to figure out what I should actually be ordering and keeping on order for October and beyond. Because I have been crippled with the idea of I don't want the Dark Knight's Death Metal, where there was so many one shots that I felt obligated or needing to pick up that ended up being pointless. Additionally, with my first year of collecting comics, the Year of the Villain tie-ins that basically were meaningless to everything. Sometimes even including the main, storyline, but minus the Flash one, not the Flash, the Justice League. So, with that being said, I am going to be taking a look at the DC Connect, which is going to be quite interesting. Obviously, it starts off with the Batman Deadpool, which is, I actually was very horrified when I saw how many different covers that this one had. And I just thought, man, DC, what are you doing? And then I looked back at what Marvel had done previously and realized, oh, the same thing. So we have this. I'm not sure that this is a whole. I mean, here we go. Here are some of our covers. We have the you know X-23 and Nightwing. I don't think that's a good pairing whatsoever. Constantine and Doctor Strange, I think, is a much better pairing or whatnot. This one, by with Captain America and Wonder Woman, I think looks fantastic. Also a big fan of the Punisher with the classic logo on with Batman. And then there's some of them that I just have no interest in whatsoever. We have uh the Sienkiewicz one, which I believe is very similar to one that was done with Marvel. Of course, you have, a Death in the Family, one. I don't know. I I picked up 2 covers for that previously with the Marvel. It was the main cover as well as the Daredevil and Green Arrow. I thought that one looked fantastic for that one. I think I'm gonna be picking up 2 also. I think no Wonder Woman and Captain America look fantastic. So you have the DCKO event. I think some of these, I I don't know. I think let's just see what it says for the second one. So again, written by Scott Snyder, Javier Fernandez, who had previously been doing, switching jobs between back and forth between Miguel Madonca and himself with the Batman and Robin series, which I've decided to go and pick up once again because I was going to piece it out because I thought it was going to either A, start all over again, and or it was just going to be like the War World saga, which I do own all of those single issues, not going to be selling those for the omnibus to put on. Yeah. Anyway, so all in, the tournament is in full swing. Heroes have fallen. Dark side is near. Oh, speaking of that, I will be picking up the Dark Side cover for the DC KO #1 by Jim Lee. I think that one looks fantastic too. 32 champions have been chosen, and now they must compete to earn the Heart of Apocalypse. The first challenge, battling across the deadly arena to acquire new weapons of war. The greatest powers of the DC universe are up for grabs, and whoever holds them will advance to the next level. Superman has his doubts that the Justice League is doing the right thing, but there are others who have no problem killing to get what they want. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if I believe one of the solicitations, either in last month's or this month's, is talking about a darker version of I think it's is it I think it's the one shot for Batman, and I think that one is really where started struggling. Okay, so we have this one, superstar Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora test Batman like never before. So you have a one shot tie-in, and again, that is where I'm really struggling with wanting to continue on with the DCKO. Either, some of the tie-ins I'm not collecting currently, as well as picking up some of the the one-shots. And you have this one, I would say this, Myers variant looks fantastic. The main one by Dan Mora also looks fantastic. DCKO Night Fight #1, Night with a K, mind you. And it says, experience Batman's epic journey during the explosive DC KO event. The Dark Knight is forced to take a different path in the tournament for the Heart of Apocalypse, one that has turned Gotham into a deadly arena where Batman must battle against the Batmen of the future. And who are these Batmen? Stay tuned to find out. Now, here's the sad thing about this one right here is I feel as though there's going to be so many, similarly to death metal, there's going to be so many new introductions to Batman that one of these is going to stick. And this is going to be one of those collector's issues that could be up there with the Teen Titans tie-in for death metal with the first appearance of the Batman Who Laughed. I think this could be this. It might not be. It'll be interesting. I guess only time will tell. So, there's a stupid cop-out answer for myself right there. We do have Superman 32, which again is part of the DC crossover. I currently have the consecutive run of Superman. I even have the Night Terrors versions, as well as the Beast World, which I haven't read. Wait, did it cross over to Beast World? I can't remember. Nightwing did. Titans did. I don't think did Superman? Anyway, Green Lantern did Bat did Okay, well, it's been a while, and I don't plan on actually going back and rereading those just to make sure that I was correct because it was not worth my time generally. The main book was good. I will give that. The main book was good, especially the Ivan Rice, which now Ivan Rice is not working with DC. He's working on Hyde Street, which is an Image Comics imprint, but then he's not on it generally after the first couple of issues. Whatever. Please come back, Ivan. Please come back. Superman 32, which is written by Joshua Williamson, who again just barely did the one-shot Batman one. Art by Eddie Barrows and that person. It looks like Lex Luthor is back. And did he get into the Deadly Tournament? Very interesting. Again, I will be picking this one up. I'm very excited for that as well, too. We have the Terrific 10 on the Do or Die mission. Okay, what is this? Terrific 10. DC KO tie-in. Okay, so this is the Justice League Unlimited number 13, written by Mark Waid, art by Dan Mora. Interesting. Dan Mora is all over the place, and he's going to be working on the Energon universe with Robert Kirkman in doing the Transformers. So I'm going to be quite interested to see how that ties or what he stops doing, if he stops doing DC altogether, or it's the amount of books, because he was doing, uh, Shazam as well as I think action. Was he doing Action Comics at the time? He was doing something with somebody. Yeah, not Dynamite commentary, Brett. Dynamite commentary. Just yeah. All right. So Justice League number 13, Earth opens up. Again, I am a mark for any Justice League book. except for Justice League Red. I'm not gonna do that six-part series. I did Justice League, The Atom Project, did issue number 1. I felt as though it had a really good tying arc that would answer so many questions. I say would because only read the first issue. I can pick it up on the DC Unlimited app, but, only read the first issue of that, but felt as though that there's so many, uh, tie-ins that it was going to or answers it was going to answer. That was a stupid statement too, for the Absolute Power, tie-in or stories, yes, and, but yeah, this one, I be interested to find out what's going on with this one, which does tie into the DCKO event. We have now this one's the one I had it in my, on my list for to pull, and then I deleted it, and I'll explain why. So this is The Flash, no longer done by Cy Spurrier, so now it's probably readable. Um, you have Flash number 27. So 26, I will tell you the, synopsis sounded interesting, but once I saw the one shot for the Batman one shot, I immediately pulled this and Titans off of my pull list or my notes to eventually have it on my pull list because I'm not going to be bogged down by so many lines that I'm not collecting just to read it. And if I really want to read it, I could just wait a month out and then do so with my, $100 a year DC Unlimited app. So it says, after Impulse's shocking decision, the Flash races through the time stream before Impulse's irrational actions can potentially doom the DC universe. But someone is just a step behind the speedsters, while the Flash and Impulse run right into a shocking reunion. All right, I will tell you. Not only is I think I will be picking this up because does sound good. It does sound like something that, we are done with the Cy Spurrier, reign of terror over the Flash, which was 25 issues too long. But you also have the starting price of $3.99. And I like that the Justice League book is also $3.99. I wish that, I think that's where a lot of my drops occurred was some of the 4.90 or dropping some of the 3.99 books because of the 4.99 cover price for titles like Nightwing, which is it only 4.99 because it sells well, or is it because it's a Batman universe? We're gonna go with Batman, Batman centric right there. Um, and then you have Titans, which again, I'm not sure I think I'm out on this one. I think this is one's gonna be one that I just wait out for it to be on DC Universe. Let's just see what the solicitation says. John Layman's been writing this. He did the, I'm familiar with his work through the, um, New 52 Detective Comics run, which I actually really enjoyed. Pete Woods I wish we could get Brad Walker back on as interiors instead of just cover variants. He did such a good job with, Tomasi on Detective Comics. He also did a fantastic job with, Dan Abnett on, some of the Rebirth Aquaman. Anyway, it says, "The towers have lifted and the Earth's evacuation is complete as the Titans take to the stars to save humanity from the oncoming apocalypse. Trouble can't help but follow them. Our heroes are scattered across the galaxy, across dimensions, each discovering that new worlds mean new dangers, something Starfire knows all too well as she ends up cornered by an apocalyptic blockade." All right. So I believe in the first one, I think there was Starfire was separated from everybody. I believe you have Beast Boy and is that the one chick from that, short issue, the Dawn of DC, Doom Patrol? I can't remember. And then, of course, you have Nightwing and Raven are on Gemworld. I don't think it's giving me enough. I will tell you that the Brad Walker, though, that cover right there, that looks worth it. Then, of course, you have the, um, brackets, and we'll just continue on. Catman and Batman and Catwoman versus Bane, and this is an obnoxious thing that they're just doing. We're focused on the DC KO. I believe there's at least one more tied into it, I think. And now we're going to the Absolute Universe books. So we have Absolute Batman number 14, written by Scott Snyder, art and cover by Nick Dragotta. Batman and Catwoman face down Bane in a final battle, but once the dust settles, what will it all mean for the future of Batman? Ooh. Okay. Then we have the Battle of Kansas begins. So Superman, which again has been, I think has been my least favorite. I mean, I didn't even start the Martian Manhunter. The art just does not speak to me whatsoever. And so I'm not in on the Absolute Martian Manhunter. I've heard great things. It just doesn't speak to me. Absolute Superman, I think, has been my least favorite so far. The Battle of Kansas has begun as tanks and Lazarus Corp come rolling down the streets of Smallville. And I will tell you, that is something that really bothers me as somebody who just basically picks up everything that is Superman. Let's see, haunted by and weakened from the horrors suffered at the hands of Brainiac and Raja Ghul, Superman wages the last desperate fight for everything and everyone he has come to hold dear. Oh, okay. Okay. So then we have Absolute Wonder Woman. I think this has probably been one of the better ones. I think Absolute Batman and Wonder Woman have been the highlights. I would say probably after that Absolute Flash, then it would be Absolute Green Lantern, even though we really aren't that far into the run so far, and ending with Absolute Superman. Let's see, Absolute Wonder Woman number 14 to save the world from an all new supernatural threat that Diane is equally unqualified to solve. She will have to reach back to the oldest, deepest of the gods for assistance. Oh, I wonder if they're going to be bringing, um, what is it? The mascara. And, that since that was a word that was blurted out and whatnot. So it'll be quite interesting to see what they end up doing with that. Absolute Flash, which has been, I think I've been pleasantly surprised. The one thing that I do get annoyed with is Wally West goes from looking like I think the 14, 15-year-old he's supposed to be doing to a man like in another panel. And it's just like, no. Absolute Flash raids Fort Fox as he tries to get to the bottom of the secrets within. I like the minimal. Is that the power ring? Oh, no, that's not. That's not the one ring to rule them all. Absolute Green Lantern. Who is Joel Mullen? Well, whatever. The the wielder of the power reveals her deepest secrets as her ex-wife decides whether to help her or turn her in. She's going to help her. But long story short, she's going to help her. All right, so then we get Batman number 3 All In, which is Matt Fraction taking over for the less than stellar. And I can't really. I did stop reading it. I did maybe should go back. I do have the run completely intact, but the Chip Zdarsky run that started off really well, and then after the second arc meandered, and then the Joker Year One story, and then Absolute Power that happened. So, and then of course, I will tell you, as somebody who still has not read the first Hush storyline, I'm not that bored by the Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee Hush Part 2. It's not the greatest, but it is definitely not the worst. Let's see, Nightwing. Um, I'm really coming close to dropping this one. I feel as though it teases stuff and then it unteases stuff, if that's an actual thing. There's still a storyline that I feel as though I believe in issue like 124, 25, they set up and then they just start the next issue. I also wish they would have done more of a gangs war type of a situation, taking what happened because of the death of Blockbuster at the end of Tom Taylor's run, basically wreaking havoc a lot longer, and Nightwing actually losing a lot more control than he actually did. It was almost like things are out of control, but you know what? I'm going to go over to these mutant people and the teddies, and I'm going to deliver them an inspirational speech. And some of them are going to see the light of it should be no, we're not going to see the light of what we're not going to smell what you're dealing. We reject it, and may God have mercy on all of you. I will tell you, this Pantalina, oh, I might have to pick up. Normally, I just pick up the main cover or whatnot, unless the variant just sticks out to me. And this Pantalina cover variant, just fantastic, fantastic. Nightwing takes a page from Batman's playbook. Oh, by being brooding, probably. And Storm's spheric solutions ready to end the conflict with Olivia Pierce once and for all, unbeknownst to Nightwing. Ooh, that's generally when the problem happens, is when the hero doesn't know something. She's been planning for his arrival. Wouldn't you, as a hero, actually be planning to take over or invade or whatnot, come face off, not to be confused with Nick Cage? Um, wouldn't you be planning on them planning on you arriving? I mean, it happens all the time in superhero books. Is the villain is going to have, be confronted by a hero, and the hero decides to break into their place, and it's just like, haha, I bet you didn't see that. Haha, I did. So hopefully, I do like Dexter Soy's art. That's really good. Anyway, unbeknownst to Nightwing, she's been planning for his arrival and battles quickly to, uh, and the battle turns quickly turns. There we go, brain inversed. Quickly turns explosive, public and personal. Can Bloodhaven's hero survive when his own city turns against him? I'm gonna go with yes. I am gonna go with yes. Batgirl number 13. Never read a single issue of this. I don't know if this is any good. I was going to get the first issue because they had an art germ cover, which looked fantastic. And I thought I ordered it and it didn't come. And then I realized I didn't order it. So then there's that. So anyway, then you have, oh boy, you have this one, this ongoing, um, why doesn't it also, I swear that this, Red Hood was Dark Label or Vertigo or whatnot, you know, TV or comic book 17 or something like that, and it's not. Oh, there it is, right there. It's listed right there on the corner right there. I don't think that you should be able to have continuity with a mature audience. Um, I mean, it would be like Marvel with the MCU having a whole bunch of PG-13 movies and then saying, "What you know what's canon is also this massively rated R," you know, I mean, take Deadpool or whatnot, for example, and if they connected it to the greater DC or MCU, and then saying that this is canon, and then in the future movies, you have PG-13 movies that are constantly referencing things. And unless, Deadpool were to break the fourth wall and just kind of give the synopsis of everything, your part of your audience is on the outside looking in. And I feel as though this being a, comic book 17 plus storyline, for the events that occurred through um, the Hush 2 storyline, I feel as though is doing fans a disservice. People who liked Red Hood, I was trying to figure out, should I pull this one? I went to the League of Comic Geek, and there's a whole bunch of Red Hood fans that are all in for this, regardless of their feelings for what this Gretchen Felker Martin said on Twitter and whatnot. They're all in on it. And again, $4.99 also, cover price. And I think if you're gonna do $4.99, it has to be, you know, and it's a black label, it has to be a prestige format, and you need to have the best writer and artist, similarly to the Three Jokers. My opinion only, though. Okay, you have Catwoman 81. I thought Torun Grumbeck had killed this book a little while back. The issue number 1 when she took over, I believe it was 69, um, was great. Issue 70, less than great. And then issue 71, yeah, just so I hope there people are really enjoying it. I stopped. I was pulling this. I was all in on the all in, except for the Batgirl because I forgot. And also the Titans because I felt as though it was all over the place with Tom Taylor. And Birds of Prey because it had started way before the all in. And I just decided to just do that on the Infinite Universe app. Birds of Prey number 27 by Kelly Thompson. The Shadow Army's plan to turn virtual violence into real violence. So is that just somebody saying like nasty words online and stuff like that? Is closer to coming true than anyone realizes. And the line between game and okay. So they're inside a game. Okay. Armed with the ultimate disguise. Sure, why not? We'll just skip there. Poison Ivy. Haven't read a single issue of Poison Ivy. Harley Quinn. Haven't read a single issue of Harley Quinn. And let's see. Superstar Erica Henderson dives into the definitive origins of Harley and Ivy's relationship. So is this more in line with the Harley Quinn HBO Max series? If so, not interested. If not, also not interested. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like not digging the art at all. Also, Batman and Robin. Okay. So I jumped out of this, and now I have officially jumped back in on the Batman and Robin. I was actually thinking about just waiting it out. I'm doing that. I'm with Philip Kennedy Johnson's Hulk, Incredible Hulk run. I jumped out and am just going to wait for the omnibus, because if you are going to do the Ryan Otley and what's his face's omnibus or whatnot, you will do any Hulk omnibus. And if Philip Kennedy Johnson is a lot better, Donny Cates, there we go. My brain worked kind of. If if Ryan Otley and Donny Cates's run that was less than lackluster, and then Ryan Otley had to take over for him. What else is going to happen with this? Obviously Philip Kennedy Johnson. Also, the Philip Kennedy Johnson in Incredible Hulk seemed like more of the Superman war world, and I was just curious if that's what was going to happen with Memento as well too. So I just decided to jump off, wait for it to just trade wait, omnibus wait, because DC Comics has actually been doing a really good job of doing omnibuses. Now, not initially, except for some reason, if it's Tom Taylor. They did Tom Taylor's Nightwing. I feel as though they're getting ready to did they announce the deluxe hardcover for Titans? Like, I feel as though they've been really greenlighting a lot of Tom Taylor's omnibuses lately. Anyway, and they did just barely do part 1, part 2 for Philip Kennedy Johnson's Action Comics and the War World saga. As Batman's newest enemy continues, man, he just can't cut a break. All these new enemies just coming out of the woodwork. Newest enemy continues to cut a bloody path through Gotham's underground. The dynamic duo work to uncover his motives. What is the connection to some of the city's fiercest villains? What brought him back to hunt them down? And who will be caught in the crossfires? Find out here, or find out in in issue 28 when they kind of review what just happened at the very end of issue 27. So, there's that. Batman, Superman, World's Finest. I've fallen behind on this one. Oh yeah, this is the other one that Dan Mora was doing along with Shazam. Now I remember. Um, I've fallen behind on my reading of this one, but again, what keeps me constantly having on the pull list is the price of $3.99. If it was $4.99, I've fallen behind and I could just probably just trade weight the whole thing because again, they're doing a lot of Mark Waid. They're going to do the third volume of his Flash run. I think they're going to probably do a couple other things with Mark Waid, especially because he is, you know, doing a pretty decent job. I feel as though his entry in, which was the Batman versus Robin, as well as one of the um what was it? The rain, the Lazarus planet. He did, I think, I can't remember if he did the Alpha and Omega or if he just did the Omega, but he did one of them that tied in perfectly with the Batman versus Robin one, which also tied in with his Batman slash Superman World's Finest run. He's really done a good job. I'm very curious to see how things are going to improve or continue because of his knowledge of the DC universe compared to what it was with, 5G and, the the Infinite Frontier, which lasted far too long until we got the DC Dawn of DC, until that got rebooted into DC All In. I mean, I do have a video that I'm planning on working with, going over a couple of those things because I think that's worth uh, looking at. Batman Dark Patterns 12. Haven't read issue number 1, so that's a thing. $5.99 cover price. 12 issue mini and $5.99 cover price makes it an easy pass and just to wait for out on the app, at least in my opinion. Detective Comics 1103. Tom Taylor, which this one run will eventually be a omnibus too. I was surprised that Mariko Tamaki's was an omnibus, and it also had the weird story that one-off story that Tom Taylor did during the Tomasi run that fell in there, which they should have just put it at the tail end of Tomasi's run. It makes more sense, but whatever. Gotham's newest villain, the Lion. Oh, another new villain has laid in wait, much like his namesake. uh, Not to be like, uh, whatever animal would just lie out there. Not like, the hippopotamus who's just right out there in the middle of for all to see. Gotham's newest villain, the Lion, has lain in wait, much like his namesake, choosing now to strike the Dark Knight. Meanwhile, the infection coursing through Batman's veins continues to work its way into his central nervous system, leaving him vulnerable to front attacks. This sounds a little the um the infection mildly kind of sounds similar to the Mariko Tamaki infection, which that was, I will tell you, that Gotham Tower stuff, not good. That first story arc with that thing, that parasite that lived in that guy's mouth, that good story. And it was done really well by Victor um, Bogdanovich, I think. Action Comics 1092. We are going back in time. Again, 4.99. I would stop right here. I would actually have stopped a while back, but I do have a long run of Action Comics. And so I'm tied. Break the run. I don't know. I just want it to go back to the Philip Kennedy Johnson era. And yeah. Wonder Woman 27, Tom King, Daniel Sampier, whatever. Um, Stopped reading it after issue number 5. After the shocking events of last issue, Wonder Woman leads the cats into war. Look at all those dead mice. Against the horrors of the Mouse Man's army. But will the unsanctioned rebellion cost Diana her soul and her daughter's life? Probably not. Trinity, daughter of Wonder Woman, issue 6 of 6. Oh, boy. Can't believe I'm passing through this, but I am. Supergirl number 7, Sophie Campbell, writer, Sophie Campbell, artist, and cover artist. I only got the first issue of this because the art germ cover was the first appearance of Supergirl's brand new costume, and that's basically all I wanted. Was that it was a Stanley art germ cover, and also first appearance of the new logo. Superman Unlimited number 7. I actually have not picked. I've picked up all of these. These are my pile of things to read. Done by Dan Slott, art by Lucas Meyer. Interesting. Raphael Albuquerque, who was supposed to be the long-term artist on this, is only doing the cover. Interesting. There's a monster in the field of Kansas, and John Kent can help us. And only John Kent can help save the farm. I hope John Sr. Anyway, New Gods 12. I picked up the first 6 issues physically because I felt as though they were the best ones to pick up. And then I forgot to keep it on my pull list, and I'm now not reading it. Aquaman number 11, Jeremy Adams. If it just says Jeremy Adams, just add it to your pull list. You'll be much happier. Mara and the mystery of Atlantis unravels, even as Andy moves towards her ultimate goal. Andy? But what is that what happened after he ditched Buzz and Woody? Towards her ultimate goal. Okay. Of and Arthur contends with the power of the blue. I do like how they have the blue. You have the red and you have the green. And I do like that this is maybe I just haven't read much Swamp Thing or whatnot, but I feel as though the blue to me is something new. Did not mean to rhyme right there. But this is power 2. Much let's see. But it is this power too much for even a king to contend with. The ocean's onslaught unloads on the king of 7 seas, and the connection between the dark tide and dark side. I see what you did there. Is at last revealed. Okay. Justice League Red number 4. Cover redacted. Okay, in other news, I'm just going to move on. Cheetah and Cheshire robbed the Justice League. Issue number 4 of 6, written by Greg Rucka. Cheshire and Cheetah have a secret plan to rob the Justice League. And, oh, rats, we almost gave it away. Oh, darn. You not even came close to making me want to pick that up. Green Lantern 29. Jeremy Adams, and his run is doing fantastic. Hal Jordan is off to Star City to check on his good friend Oliver Queen. When things go sideways, the boys find themselves with a bit of a problem that only can lead to some serious hard traveling solutions. Oh, I see what you did there, Jeremy Adams. Green Lantern Corps number 10, Morgan Hampton, now no longer co-written by Jeremy Adams. All right. In the aftermath of Starbreaker supremacy, Oa shines brighter than ever as the home of the entire emotional spectrum, but the shared planet, a patchwork of lanterns territories, is rife with conflict. Ooh, I wonder who's dating who. The newest lanterns, including Kelly, Vresu, Aya, and Narf. It sounds like, what is that? Was that Yakko, Wacko, and Dot? Narf. Go through Kilowog's core academy, while yet veterans teams search for the escaped science cell prisoner. Expect the shocking return of a few legendary faces. You mean the ones that that one writer killed, Jeffrey Thorne? JSA number 13. We are doing JSA year 1. Okay. They should have done JSA Year One back when Stargirl was a really popular show on the CW. And by real popular, I mean even my mom knew about it. Green Arrow number 30. I dropped this. I wish I felt as though I needed to drop, so I had so many things going and it pained me, but I don't have a long ongoing Green Arrow um, continuous collection. And so it was easy to purge this and just read it digitally online. Also, that first story arc, the Dark Water, I think, or whatever it was called, not good. It started off good and then it just turned into not. Adventures of Superman, Book of L. This is Philip Kennedy Johnson. Brainiac returns into a terrifying new form. Jimmy Olsen. Oh, no, I know what it is right here. Wait, who is that? Okay, that's supposed to be Superman. Okay, good. Because if that was, whoops, my bad. If that was John Kent, oh, that would be so wrong. Oh, yeah. Anyway, Justice League versus Kong versus Godzilla Part Two. Didn't read it the first time. Not gonna read it the second time. Gotham Academy first year number 2. All right, good for you. Okay, out of Gotham, not out of bullets. Red Hood. In a world where Red Hood. That's what I swear they're trying to do with that tagline right there. A return to the Beyond universe that. Now, this is an interesting one. Superman slash Static Beyond number 1. Now, the reason why I say this is interesting is the first couple of Neo, because this is Neo Gotham, and the first 2 6-part arcs were done by Lansing and whatever. Jackson and Lansing? I can't remember. But they did the first 2 arcs, and now we have Evan Narcissi as the writer for this. Again, 5-issue, probably 6-part mini, easy to say no to. And just either A, trade wait, or B, read it digitally. Some of these variants look really good. I'm not gonna lie. This when variant really good. If this wasn't the 1 in 25 variant, I might pick that up just because of the cover, but, yeah, it is, and I'm not paying, whatever price it is. Immortal Legend of Batman number 4. I'm very curious. I was gonna pick this up. Kyle Higgins is doing his massive verse. I think that there is potential right there, but at the same time, I think just, I think there needs to be a cutoff point, especially because for this being the year, is it the year of Superman, the summer of Superman or whatnot? I think DC is backtrailing and doing more Batman. I feel as though we were going light on Batman for 2025, and now we are going back to business as usual as we see the 3-issue miniseries Batman slash Green Arrow slash The Question Arcadia. Oh no, it's a 4-issue series. And then you have Joker Harley, Malicious Intent, Kim Garcia. And then this one is the only Superman book that I haven't picked up is the Superman the Kryptonite Spectrum. And I thought about it because W. Maxwell Prince does that horror anthology and The Ice Cream Man. But yeah, I'll just whatever. Fear of World War feeds the Scarecrow. What's this? The Batman second. Oh, this is the Dan Jurgens one. I picked up the first issue of Dan Jurgens one, and because I get tired of the magazine size one. I have to buy a special bin to carry those in. And yeah, the first world problems, yes, and I am complaining about it, but it's okay because I'll just wait it out and kind of do what I did with Batman Damned and also the Batman Werewolf one. That was a 3-issue series or whatnot, and just buy the magazine, um, hardback cover for that one because it's just so much easier to put on my shelf compared to well, I mean, I could put it on a shelf, but I think hardback books are a lot easier and more standard to put on a shelf. And you don't have, the wear and tear on the spine and whatnot. And then you have a couple of facsimiles, Mad Magazine, oh boy, Court, The Children of the Round Table. Oh, look, they have a mystery machine. Zoinks. Let's see. It's Supergirl. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Supergirl, a crypto, and a bunch of zoo animals. This they should have waited for the announcement or for when the Supergirl movie is going to come out. I think if you really wanted your bang for your buck and get jump on the not only the crypto bandwagon but also set up the Supergirl movie or to um, use the Supergirl movie to your best advantage, I think actually having it in time instead of the end of or the mid credit scene appearance of Supergirl with crypto. But that's just me. I'm not into marketing or anything like that. All right, we have second volume of Nick Dragotta's Absolute That. You have the new history of DC Universe. I was going to wait this out or each issue and then just pick up the hardcover or soft cover of the new history of the DCU done by Mark Waid. I started reading the first issue. It's okay, but it is a lot and it's not easily read. And I think it's gonna be one of those things that just kinda lives somewhere else. We have Simon Spurrier and Alex Paknadell's, Bad Moon Rising. This is, I believe this is the last of Cy Spurrier's. Farewell, farewell, sweet Cy. Poison Ivy, and what is this? Okay, so that's that. Then we have Nightwing Volume 2 in the trade paperback, Catwoman Volume 2. In trade paperback, Absolute Power or DC Power, Rise of the Power Company. Didn't even read that. It came free with my subscription date of its release. Brave and the Bold. Okay. Woman Super. Okay. This one is interesting right here. The Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is the compact edition, which $10. Okay. They probably should have waited again for the announcement of the Supergirl movie to get this. I mean, it's going to be in existence. Don't get me wrong, but to have it announced around the time that the Supergirl movie is going to come out, I think again a lot smarter. But again, not into marketing and whatnot. Absolute editions, whatever, whatever. This one's odd. Justice League Dark, the New 52 compendium. They just barely came out with this in the hardback, and I believe it was over about 1,000 pages. Then this one, oh, a compendium, 1,624 pages. Yeah, I'm. That's just asking for it to have its back broken, not like Bruce Wayne slash Batman. Bane's not gonna be breaking that one. This one, I'm all for. I'm very excited for this one. I'm also very excited for the announcement of the Robert Venditti, Flash, omnibus or the part 2 of the Flash, New 52 run, where you have the Green Lantern by Robert Venditti. This goes all the way. The interesting thing about this one compared to some of the other ones that I've noticed with the collection is they will generally put as part of the run, the DC Rebirth one shot. They're their number one, not the number one issue for the thing, but their one shot introducing the new uh, storyline going forward with the change from New 52 to Rebirth. And they didn't do that with this one. They just ended at 52. They have the annual, they have the future ends, they have the new gods, the Green Lantern Corps futures ends, new guardians, Red Lantern. So they have, a couple of crossovers in there, but they don't have the transition from the new 52 to Rebirth. You have Justice League of America, the Nail, and the deluxe edition, which might think about I have that in trade paperback. Absolute Blackest Night, absolutely no. And then you have and so and here's where this is gonna be. So, I wish DC would kinda slow down their Silver Age and Golden Age omnibuses and just kind of more focus on their DC Finest run. I mean, in this catalog, there isn't they have not announced a DC Finest one. This one I'm all for, this Justice League, Young Justice Omnibus Volume 2, main writer Peter David, especially since he just recently passed away. And then I like that this is not only does this, but has never before seen art in it. So that's going to be fun too by Peter David and Todd Knock. And that one will be collected by myself and added to that. So, with that being said, what are you excited for? What are you pre-ordering? I think I actually going through this and reading it out loud to my brain has been very therapeutic. Gives me the answer of should I proceed in some of these tie-ins of a series that I'm not collecting going forward or just for this. And I think I'll add the Flash. Don't think I'll add the Titans, but I'm not as annoyed at the one shot that I once was. So tell me in the comments, what are you excited about? What are you least excited about? What are your thoughts about the DCKO? And stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a video soon about entitled 50 comics or well, not 50 comics. I wanted to I say it's titled and now I'm just going back on it. But are there 50 comics worth buying in the month of October? Because again, I'm getting ready to do my pre-orders for the month of October and I backtracked a couple times. Are there 50 comics worth owning in October 2025? So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for other stuff. Please listen, watch back on some of the other stuff. Hit thumbs up if you think I deserve it. Hit the thumbs down if you don't. Thanks for watching. And until next time, I will see you in the dollar section where probably DC Chaos tie ins will be found. Thanks for watching. Bye.